All right, y'all. Today I'm gonna walk you through how I do one of my tapers from start to finish using the StyleCraft 360 Jeezy clippers. I'm gonna keep it simple, show you exactly where I put my guidelines, how I blend everything out, and a couple little things I do to help me get a cleaner finish. So if you've been having trouble with your tapers or you just want to see a different approach, stay with me and let's get into it. All right, here I'm gonna be combing out this hair, making sure everything's nice and smooth, following the pattern of the hair. And I'm gonna start off cutting down the hair. Here I'm using the 2 guard, 2.5. I asked him if it was okay. I proceed, following the shape of his head, trimming down all the hair to a 2, I believe, or 2.5. Yeah, I did the 2. Number 2 with the grain. Make sure everything nice and smooth. Now I start with my first guideline using the cocoa trimmers. Now using the clipper lever open, create my second guideline. Here I'm gonna be doing like a mid-low taper. So I'm not going too high. So I start with the number 2 guard because that's the highest guard that these clippers came with. So I use it with the 2 guard open. I'm using the 1.5 now to blend down. Start with the lever open and then go closing little by little. Now I take the 1/2 guard with the lever open and I go closing it little by little, fading down, making sure it's nice and smooth. And usually, doing blowouts, temp fades, whatever, any fade in general, you can use, 3 guards, 3, 1.5, and the 1/2. And then if you need to do some touch-ups, light work, you can use the 2 or the 1. Here, since I did a 2, on top, I can use the 1.5 guard fading down just to clean up the taper a little bit. And just get the hairs that stick up a little bit and clean it up. As you can see, I'm stretching out the skin, using my corners to clean up. Always remember to brush down because every time you pass the clipper, all the strokes, it's gonna reposition the hair. So here I'm starting with the back taper. That first base guideline is usually aligned with the bottom of the ear, the earlobe. So everybody has a different shape, height, where the hair grows in the nape area. So you just want to follow that as a guideline. Now using the lever open, creating that line. Now I'm using the 2 open just to debulk. And my fading technique is always from bottom to top and then fading down. It went from the 2. Now I'm using the 1.5 guard open, even strokes. Here, when you're debulking and fading down, it's okay to use the whole blade so you get hair off quicker. When you use corners, it's mostly for detailing. After the 1.5 guard, I'm going with the 1/2 guard lever open. And see how quick it just cleans it up and it fades it down when you use the whole lever, the whole blade. And you just gradually close the lever. After that, no guard, just to erase that first guideline. Since you did lever open, you want to close it about halfway just to get that bottom line out and then go closing little by little. Here, I'm just gonna go touch it up again, making sure I get a nice smooth blend and doesn't look like a blowout chili bowl. That's one of my pet peeves, man, that if you're doing a taper in the back, it has to show. Here I'm using a regular wall guard since the 360 Yeezy clippers didn't come with a guard higher than a 2. So usually that's my system. It's the 3 guard, the 1.5 guard, and the half. I had to pull out a wall guard. But either way, you can still get this cut done with just 3 guards. Some hair textures, right? You might want to use the 1 or even the 2. Others, you know, you can get away with just using the 3 guards and you'll get a smooth blend. But when you want that smooth, buttery transition, a taper, yeah, using all the guards you can to get it done right. These trimmers are, man, these are some hitters straight out of the box. Just like, look how clean they come out, them lines come out. Here I'm lining up the C cup. Use the corners, keep the edges out. No pushbacks. Unless they're requested, then that's a different story, but try to preserve the line as much possible. And always, you know, in the consultation with the client, you know, ask them, you know, if they want to preserve their line, or you want to line it up where it's nice and straight, where it's required to have a little bit of a pushback. But always ask. I'm just feathering the taper a little bit. Now we're doing the lineup. When it comes to beard lineup, I always line up a little bit higher than where I'm gonna go with the razor, just so it doesn't go lower than, you know, it's, you know, where they want it. Here I'm using some thinning shears to, you know, just clean up a little bit. You can see how smooth that taper is coming out. And my man was getting ready for a wedding. He was getting married, so this cut had to be on point. That's why I like being a barber, man. Knowing that you can get people fresh for their special occasion. You know, they put their trust in you to get them right. That's the best feeling, man. Here, shaping up around the lip. See how I stretch that out. Make sure you get them corners. You don't want no straggly hairs, you know, curling inwards. Yeah, use some holding spray, blow dry it down, comb it out, get it as straight down as possible, and start your lineup from the middle and go outwards. Got to make sure you position the head right, so you know you can look at it from straight ahead and you can get a nice decent shape up. So far, look how clean it's looking. You can see that top part of the weight of his waves is kind of curling down, so I don't like how that looks, so I go and touch it up a little bit more. Usually once I get all the initial work done, then I always go back in detail just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Service like this shouldn't take no more, tops 45 minutes. I wind up switching clippers. I don't know why, but it's just a 3-guard fits better on them sabers. Or maybe I had, you know, the guards with 2 different clippers, so I didn't have to be switching. I could just pick up and go. As you can see, it's coming out straight, and then what you do to one side, you do to the other. So in this video, I'm just showing you how I do the taper on one side and then the back on some wavy hair. As you can see here, razor work, stretch out the skin, keep it at a 45-degree angle, have them blow a bubble, make sure that, you know, the skin is stretched out. Use the corner, the front of the blade, the back of the blade, and shave all the hair that's supposed to be shaved. You can see I be brushing a lot, especially for them edges. Usually hairs always stick out. Once again, brush, and always make sure, because once the client leaves and go home and they be in the bathroom after they shower and they be looking in the mirror making sure that their cut is fresh, I ain't trying to get no text later like, bruh, you messed up on my line, or yeah, I'm not trying to get no calls or no text later. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop in the comments what y'all want to see next, what y'all want me to talk about. But customer is satisfied with his cut. That's all that matters. That the person that sits in your chair loves their cut and they keep coming back. That's the #1 goal when it comes to barbering. Everything else doesn't matter. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.